Yo, what's up? Welcome to the Kind of Funny Next Gen podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is Barrett Courtney, aka the Sad Boy.
Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Barrett, what's up?
Have you ever been concerned about your pee smelling like certain types of cereal? Has that ever happened before? Has that ever happened to you?
No. Has this happened to you?
This has happened. It's a certain it was one of the cereals that we brought up on the cereal ranking with Joey, and I feel like I talked about it there too. It's like it's not golden.
We brought up a lot of cereals.
We brought up a lot of fucking cereals. Yeah, it was Golden Crisps. Like sometimes, like if you have like enough sugar or something,
that's not the real one, right? That's the one that Honey Smacks was the one that we thought was fake.
Yeah, that was the one we thought was fake. There's like something about like if you have enough sugar, your pee might smell like
the
really sweet.
Honey Smacks was the fake one,
and then
Honey Smacks was the one where I was like, this doesn't exist.
I'm just saying, like if you have a super sweet smelling pee, that's what Golden Crisp smells like.
Roger Percorny.
And
have you ever had
Honey Smack that?
Smack that? Yeah.
On the floor, smack that.
That was
a fucking time period, bro.
I can't believe a song
that was on the radio.
Akon featuring Eminem came out. What an unlikely pairing that was.
Is it? I don't know. That sounds. Was it?
Yeah, I mean, they were hot during the same era, but like as artists, they don't intersect whatsoever. Eminem raps about the shit that Eminem raps about, and I guess Akon does sing about like a bunch of weird shit every now and then.
Bunch of weird shit.
Yeah, he did have a song. You put
they definitely don't. As someone who like didn't really listen to either of them, even just on the outside looking in, they have what seems to be very different vibes about them as artists.
Yeah, like the only reason why Akon would collaborate with Eminem would be because they are both at the peak of their careers in pop music. That's the only. It's like It's like the Baby doing a collaboration with Katy Perry. Was like this doesn't make sense, but they're both very famous, and so that's what makes it make sense.
But that like if you told me that happened tomorrow, like I'd be like, makes sense.
Whatever.
But like Eminem and Akon so Akon is the Katy Perry or Eminem is the Katy Perry in this?
Akon is the Katy Perry, Eminem is the Baby. It's because it's like the hard rap, like Eminem is the lyrical miracle, spiritual individual, criminal, subliminal in your swimming pool. Like that's Eminem, whereas I forget who the Akon is the pop star. Akon is the dude who's singing about
in that
nobody want to see us together.
Yeah.
He's singing about being lonely. He's singing about right now, and I like. Nothing about Akon's subject matter in his music screams "I'ma kill you." Like the way that Eminem's music screams that.
Fair.
Sure. And now Akon got Akon coin. Isn't that a thing he has? He has Akon coin. He's got the villages in Africa that he's building from the ground up.
I don't know if that's what he's doing. I think he's bringing electricity.
I thought he was building like an entire like Akon city.
Akon.
Is he really?
Yeah, I thought that was the thing. Is that it's like not just electricity. Like he's trying to build like an entire.
Oh my god! I typed in Akon City, and the first thing that came up was Akon City, Senegal, and there's a picture of Akon. So I think you're exactly right, actually.
Wow.
Akon City is a project launched by Senegalese American singer and entrepreneur Akon. Akon City will be built in Senegal. The project was first announced in Senegal by Akon, along with the Senegal Minister of Tourism.
It's got a Wikipedia page.
Wow, Akon City. That's crazy. And I'm so surprised Kanye West has not made this happen for sure. He's been trying to. He's been trying. I think he went to Haiti trying to make that happen. And then he was like, he just keeps on trying to do it, but no one will let him do it. But
I think if Kanye West was more put together, like if he didn't diverge from his destined path, I think he would have got there, but he would have made his own city.
The announcement was 2018, and then it got approved by the government in 2020.
Wow.
So it's happening. There you go.
What pop stars outside of
that's going to be really confusing now because like in my home state there's a place called Akron, and I always get Akron and Akon mixed up. Now that Akon's going to have an actual like city, like now I'm going to get those two places mixed up all the time. Akron, because like, Roger, when you like see them spelled out, you're like, "Fuck, that's too similar."
Oh,
like,
okay.
I know they're pronounced differently, but I'm never saying Akron out loud. I always see it on a map, and I'm like, I'm never going over there.
I think Akron is where LeBron James is from.
Is he?
Yeah, I believe that's where he's from.
Yeah, LeBron and a rapper named Swoop, who I used to listen to back in the day. Rep Akron.
It's a good name.
Let's see.
Swoop?
I don't know who else would do like a big
city.
Like a city.
Ooh.
Who else would do a city? Who else would make this entire
Kanye West
city?
is a good one to throw out there.
For sure.
I mean,
an unconventional one.
Isn't like Amazon doing
but...
shit where they're like building cities and having their workers like live over there and shit?
Wow, that's.
I mean, that's technically Jeff Bezos like kind of doing that shit, you know.
Jeff Bezos is just a horrendous monster, so that's different. Like we're talking about pop stars. Like I'm talking about people on the charts, on the Billboard.
Like
charts.
when you tell me there's an Amazon city with the workers living there, I immediately think that is not going to last long because there has to be laws against having a city owned by this company that historically does not treat the workers well.
Blessing, it won't be illegal because here's the thing: they pay for all of the government stuff and they lobbying and shit like that.
Yeah, but like
so you know what? Sorry to bother you is only a couple of years away, and we're all living in a fucking hellscape in capitalism.
You know how we're all like eat the rich, eat the rich. I think by the time Amazon makes that city, I think that's when it'll actually come into practice where people have had enough. I think that'll be the point where the people revolt and tear down that city with our bare hands.
All right, let's see. List of people from Akron, Ohio. Let's see. It's in. While
you're looking that up,
LeBron James. Yeah, there you go. Akron.
Yeah,
I knew he was from like the area.
I would just love it was every single person from Akron. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking thousands and thousands of people.
It's a pretty long list, which is like really
like,
weird.
Not celebrities.
So a lot of athletes, executive. There's a cartoonist, some TV.
How far away is Akron from Cleveland?
Oh, it's pretty close. Like I would say Akron is kind of like a. It's not like fully like a suburb of Cleveland, I would say.
Because there's probably a lot of commuting going on in that case.
No, it's like it's close enough to be considered a suburb of Cleveland. It is definitely on the outskirts, though. So yeah, there you go. How about that?
I want to bring in Hideo Kojima as a possible candidate for a person who would make their own city. I don't think he's rich enough to make his own city, but I think if he was, he 1000% would.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, he wants to, right? We've seen fucking Death Stranding about building highways and shit like that. Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what that game's about, right? Like, BTS is in it.
I think if he had the financial backing, he would do something. He would do something Death Stranding like in the real world. Like he would find his own way to make his own mark in the world in that way.
Or would he just make a $300 million movie, basically? You know what I mean? Like I don't think he would actually do anything in the real world. I think he would just want to make art about the real world. I think he seems like the type of person
his art about the real world ends up becoming the real world anyway. Yeah, and so I feel like at this point you just skip the middle,man and just be like, cool, I'm just gonna form this shit the way I want to.
Okay, my question is that maybe this is off topic a little bit, but like, do you think Hideo Kojima has had the offers to make like Hollywood movies? Because I feel like if he has, he just would have. But I feel like he would have just done it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like this man is so obsessed with movies that I'm so surprised he has not made an actual movie.
Maybe the offers he's gotten so far are things that he particularly sees himself fitting into that kind of project.
Yeah, they're probably just like, hey, do you want to make like a Metal Gear Solid movie or something like that? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's making one right now. We just don't know about it. I think Hideo Kojima is the kind of dude who's probably ongoing working on those types of creative projects, but
yeah.
Like none of that shit has just got announced because he's not made a movie before, unless you count the Metal Gear Solid games, which I would understand. But because he's not made a movie before, maybe those projects just aren't making it far enough to where they're worth announcing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Blue Box Studio, man, just an entire movie company.
I mean,
no one gave
footage.
At this
point. No, don't start that shit. Don't start
it. Fuck, my God. What other pop stars are there that would make a city?
Fuck, man. Like, I don't know. Like,
I think Akon is the one who did it.
Akon makes sense though. Like, I could see. I don't know. Like, that just gave me. Like, when I heard that, I was like, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, that makes sense. Like, I don't know why.
Michael Jackson was still alive, I would say Michael Jackson.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Yeah.
He was also very close to Akon. Akon and him were very good friends.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they were. There was even, I don't know if this is real. I remember listening to this. I'm pretty sure this is real. This was from a you can look this up maybe from a radio station where they prank called Michael Jackson. Someone got their number and they pretended to be Akon and they got him on the line and they just talked about music stuff. So it wasn't like particularly funny or good. But like, so that's why I remember I was a kid when I listened to this, so it could have been fake. But I remember listening to that and being like, this is not really good, so this seems real. So I don't know, whatever. I know that they were close. A lot of images of Akon and Michael Jackson together.
I just typed in biggest pop artists of all time. Taylor Swift ain't building a city.
No.
Yeah, no.
Beyonce doesn't care to build a city.
Jay-Z though.
No, Jay-Z's too rich. He's too rich as in like he's too capitalist. Like Jay-Z doesn't care about the people enough to build a city. Jay-Z's out here.
You're talking about like building a city to like help the people and not for like these people's ego. Is where you're coming from. Gotcha.
Well, here's the thing, because I think for Akon, it's a matter of both. Where I think Akon has the ego, but he also, I think, genuinely wants to give back to his community. Jay-Z, I think, has the ego, but not enough of an ego, like not a city building ego. I think Jay-Z would prefer to build multi-billion-dollar corporations over a city. A city just
he's too much of a capitalist.
Yeah, like I think a city probably doesn't generate enough money compared to what he could do if he sold sneakers or some shit.
Yeah, I can see Beyonce doing that though. Like on the flip side, like I could see Beyonce creating like an entire city or doing something like that. I could see that. I think Jay-Z is like at the point where he's just so capitalistic. Like, you know what I mean? Like you listen to 444 and you're like, this man is just like, he just wants to be a trillionaire at this point. Like he's like he's not trying to.
Now that you mention it,
people.
I think
Beyonce seems like that.
I think the combined efforts of Jay-Z and Beyonce would make a city. I think they would have the conversation and be like, yeah, let's build a town in like a low income area and try to build housing for people who can't afford decent housing. I could see them together being like, we have such influence in the Black community and we want to give back in some sort of way, in that way where it's not even an ego thing, but it's more so of we have a public duty and we have so much money between the two of us that why not?
I Google searched what's more profitable, cities or shoes, and I couldn't get a straight answer.
My thing, cities just cost so much money. It's like making a game with a lot of budget. It's like God of War 2018, where it's like, yeah, you're selling a lot, but how much does this cost for you to make? You know, like at this point, you're making it to sell consoles. And it was Beyonce.
It's an apt comparison, but I just hate that you compared like building a city to God of War 5 or whatever the fuck. Like
cities versus shoes to God of War.
Yeah, it's a good comparison.
Yeah. But it's like how much do sneakers cost to make, right? Like $30. Sell that shit for $200. Sell a million shoes. Oh my God, you're balling. Look how much Apple bought Beats by Dre for. It's a lot of money. It's like $1 billion. Turned Dre into the first rap billionaire.
Yeah.
How
about that?
I'll make headphones before I make a city.
I love that Dr. Dre, he like leaked that he was a billionaire before it happened, and then it almost fell apart because he like had a drunk Instagram live. Yeah, he was on, I think it was like I might be wrong. I think it was on like Tyrese's Instagram or some crazy shit or something like that. He was on somebody's Instagrams. It wasn't his. And then he was like just fucked up, but like drunk, high as shit. And they just were talking numbers. So he was like, I'm fucking billionaire. like you don't think Dr. Dre is like that type of person, but he totally was at that moment, and it ruled. Like honestly, and because of that, they almost fell apart.
The Apple bought Beats by Dre.
Yeah, it was right before. Like, so they were just talking about the money. They didn't sign anything, and he was fucking talking about it. He was talking about. There's a great documentary about.
That was back in 2014. I thought that was earlier for some reason. I was like,
yeah, there's a great documentary about Dr. Dre on HBO. I forget the name of it. It's a very well edited documentary, and yeah, they interview him, and he's so fucking embarrassed by that entire situation.
If I became a billionaire, I'd do the same thing. If I just made $1 billion,
I'm a motherfucking billionaire.
I would get $30 on like first time.
I got enough money for a Subway sandwich. Like, let's fucking go.
Exactly. I'd be telling everybody new drugs to do at that point. If I made $1 billion, if I went from zero to $1 billion, not that Dr. Dre went from zero by any means, but he did become $1 billion more richer. Yeah. If that was me, oh my God, I'm already spending like 300 million on some bullshit, like off the bat. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I want you to make a new crack and give it to me. Like cocaine. I want a new drug.
Crack 2, boys.
Crack 2, the return.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you can go.
No, I was gonna say this is a quick point that I don't think Drake would build a new city, but he would make a new neighborhood in Toronto.
He definitely would. Yeah. He would definitely not build a city. I don't think.
Would he have the ego to name it after himself? the neighborhood.
No,
Drake City, maybe
Okay.
Aubrey neighborhood. I could see it.
I don't think he would. I think he would name it after his mom.
Mm.
He seems like
can
that
see
type of person.
He is a mama's
Seems
boy.
like that. J. Cole, 100%. If he had the money, I don't think he has the money, but if he had the money, he would build something like that. He doesn't have a lot of money. 100 million though. 100 million is still on my grind. That's a reference to a song you haven't heard, Barrett. You should listen to the album. It's a pretty good album.
Speaking of which, actually, I know you were about to make a point, Roger. Unless that was the point you were gonna make.
I forgot the point. It's probably fucking stupid.
Speaking of which, Tyler the Creator released a new album this last weekend, and we are the perfect three people to talk about it because I think we're the three people kind of funny who love Tyler the Creator and probably have already listened to this album. And what better way to title this episode than Tyler the Creator? I forget the name of the album. Don't Call Me Because I'm Gone or something like that. Call Me If You Get Lost.
Yeah, Call Me If You Get Lost.
Call Me If You Get Lost
start to this review.
Yeah, we call it that with review on it so that people who click in are like, what the fuck?
Sure. I like it. I like it a lot. I first I was I don't know, for some reason this is not like as substantial. I feel like of like an album in terms of like narratively. I feel like comparatively to like Igor or Flower Boy especially. And I feel like that reminded me of J. Cole's last album that just came out, where it's like he kind of like went away from like a large narrative in order to like just make really solid music. And I feel like that's what this is, and I love it. Like I think this is like kind of what I needed personally right now, like from a Tyler album, like just like going back into straight rapping, into some really great mixtures between Igor and Flower Boy and even Wolf era and Cherry Bomb. Like it feels like this is like all of his eras combined into something for once. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I don't really think I have much to say about it other than that, but I just really enjoy it. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I'm digesting it a lot. It's one of those ones where Igor, when that came out, I didn't love it immediately. In fact, immediately I was like, it's whatever, it's fine. And then the more and more I listened to it,
it was very different from anything.
Yeah, it was very different, and like the sound, I think just wasn't easily digested by me. But after a few weeks of listening, it was literally mid-flight. I forget where I was going. I think I was going to a convention or something, but mid-flight, I was listening
Flights
to it.
Flights are the best time to be listening to music. You know what I'm saying? Like really 100%. Just like have that moment to just like sing.
You got nothing else to focus on. You know, like you're probably like halfway sleepy.
And if you're me, you're trying to at any cost to ignore turbulence whatsoever. So you're just like, let me focus on anything else. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was mid-flight that Igor really hit for me, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay, I see what this is doing, and this is really good." And I think "Call Me If You Get Lost" might end up being that for me, but like from the get-go, when he released Lumberjack, which was the first single, I think the thing I messaged Roger immediately was like, "Yo, this sounds like old Tyler." And like I think when I said that, what I meant mainly was that he was back to rapping, because Igor was less of a rap album and more of I don't know what I even call it.
I would call it like
rap?
Psychedelic pop is what I would.
Yeah, something along those lines. This is definitely him getting back to his rap core, but also it feels like him bringing in lessons he's learned making music, and that's probably one of my biggest takeaways from the album is that Tyler Creator knows how to make music in a way where the latest J. Cole album, I listened to so much in those first few weeks, and I've not gone back and listened to a lot since, aside from like the best songs, because it is a rappy rap album, meaning it almost feels like a mixtape listening to the J. Cole album, where I'm listening to it for the verses, I'm listening to it for the lyricism, but musically it's not grabbing me as much later on. Like there's not enough melodies for me to attach myself to. There's not enough like variation in the way a lot of the songs sound. Like a lot of it feels like it's J. Cole being like, hey, I can rap, and remember that I can rap, so that like my next project, maybe I'll get more into the musical shit.
Yeah.
And then, so this one feels like a mixture between the two.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, because that was something like the first day reactions I was seeing on Twitter. I was really interested in like people saying like, oh, like I'm here for the fucking Tyler the Creator mixtape vibes and shit like that. And like I'd kind of gotten that a little bit in like the first few tracks, where it does have a little bit more of that like mixtape feeling to it, but like by the time I was finished with the album, I was like, no, there's like you still get a lot of that like Tyler music in there, where every facet,
it's just like an Igor song.
Yeah, like every facet of it is coming together in a very fascinating way, whereas like mixtape is a little more a little more raw, a little more bare bones on the production side, I would say. So I'm glad that you brought that up, just because I thought that was like a lot of people were saying like this was overall like a big like mixtape vibe, and I was like, I don't fully agree with that, but I see where they're coming from.
I think it comes from a couple of things. I think obviously DJ Drama being on it gives it big mixtape energy because he's hollering all throughout, and I absolutely adore that. And
he starts off on like the first track too. It was like
which like I think is a very mixtape thing to do, and then also there being like a lot of like rap comparatively to Igor, I think also brings that up too. But it does at the same time, while having that mixtape feel to it, it does also have that. No, this has the music quality is album quality. Like this coming off of Igor has a different energy to it, but doesn't feel like it had any less effort put into it, which is the thing that I really like. And so far, it is a slow burn. So far, like I'm not over the moon on it. I don't put it above Igor or Flower Boy yet, but the more I listen to it, the more I connect with songs. And just before this, actually, when I was making lunch, I was listening to Wilshire is the song. Wilshire, I think is how you pronounce it. And I got halfway to that song and I was like, this is one of my favorite types of rap songs where it's 8 minutes of a chill ass, dope ass beat and storytelling over it that feels so personal, so relaxed, not doing too much, but also doing enough at the same time. I told Roger actually that like it gives me 30 hours vibes to it, where if you've listened to 30 hours by Kanye, that's another chill song where it feels like Kanye is just doing just random storytelling, random punchlines mixed in there from now and then. Mm-hmm. And Wilshire has that, right? Wilshire has like a random throwaway bar where he's like, you thought like something, you thought I was lying, Hakuna Matata, like that type of shit where it's like, out of context, that's a whatever punchline, but in the context of Wilshire, like he says it so throwaway like that I gotta appreciate it because he's finding moments while doing this long storytelling thing of him and I guess this three-way relationship or whatever, doing that while also feeding in like the hard like rap punchlines, like good actual lyricism in there, which I appreciate. So overall, like I've been really enjoying this Tyler album, and shout out to the songs that go hard too.
Yeah,
there's a couple of those with really dope ass beats.
With 42 Doug, that song, I forget the name. Oh, Lemonhead. That song, dude, I don't know who that guy is. I've never heard of him rap at all. That was such a good fucking feature, and that's the thing that like really pushes me over the edge with Tyler all the time is that he's able to take people like bringing people to his circle, much like Kanye West, and bring the best out of them always. Like he uses them to their full potential. Like NBA young boys on this, and he's fucking fantastic. Like he's doing a feature that I've never heard him sound like. And like I think that the more I listen to Tyler, I've said this before on like podcasts, like I think that Tyler is like that next generation of Kanye West. Like I think he is the next Kanye West, like very clearly.
And it's funny because he almost like had the trajectory like almost backwards where like Kanye kind of came up in like producing and stuff like that, and then he was like, you know what, I'm a fucking god, and then started to do his own thing. Where it was like Tyler almost started like the opposite, where it was like he was the front man of like this huge group, and then the further and further he's gotten into his career, like the more of like the producer mind he has, and the more like he is doing what you're saying, where he's like he is elevating people and artists that he collaborates with to like have them find like putting past their full potential.
The crazy thing is he's even done that with Kanye West, where Smuckers when that came out in Cherry Bomb was one of the best Smuckers Kanye verses I'd heard in a long while, and Lil Wayne, because both Kanye and Lil Wayne are on that song. Like those were some of the best verses I'd heard from those two in a while. And to your point, I think I almost think that Tyler went from being like the new Eminem to now being the old Kanye in a way, where when Tyler first came out, he was this aggressive, offensive dude saying
my parents wouldn't let me listen to him. Like they were mad when I would listen to him, because remember when he went on stage and he was fuck teachers and everything. I was like, hell yeah, you know what I mean? Like being rebellious, like that was my rebellious stage or whatever. But then like now he's like I was talking to Mike about this. Like it's so amazing to see his progression over the years. Like Odd Future Wolfgang was such a rebellious thing for so many people, and it was so edgy and all over the place. And then I went to Madison Square Garden. I've been seeing Tyler for years now live every time he comes around, and he sold out Madison Square Garden. It was amazing. And I looked around and it was all like people with pride flags and like all like little like young girls and everything like that. And it was so crazy, his progression of like
it's crazy, the way that he's evolved. His early stuff was legit like homophobic, right? Like he was he was talking, he's saying the F word, he's saying all these bad things. He's talking he's talking about things that you shouldn't be talking about in songs. No. And you talk about how your mom would let you listen to Tyler. I didn't let myself listen to Tyler when Tyler first came out. I was like, who in the world is this guy eating a roach and talking about all this gross stuff? This ain't for me. And I dipped. And it wasn't until Wolf where I came through and I was like, oh, no, this guy can actually make music. Yeah. And over the years, like, he went from, I guess, like, being that almost Eminem offensive, abrasive figure to doing exactly what y'all are talking about, which is one, like, being able to elevate other artists to do their best on songs, but then also being that dude who, when Kanye West first came through, he was rocking pink polos and backpacks and doing all the things that at the time people weren't doing in rap. When Kanye West first came up, 50 Cent was the hotness. And Kanye West came through and he was this dude that was rapping about getting into car accidents and Jesus and all this stuff that people were not rapping about in rap songs. And he totally changed the landscape, right? Like people like the KFC buffet. Yeah, going to the KFC buffet.
Which I didn't know was a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing either.
I've never seen a KFC buffet. It still exists. Is
it really? What are the locations?
It's you could just randomly go on like the KFC website and find like some KFC buffet locations. Like that doesn't sound like a good time, but it sounds like a good time.
That sounds like I'm gonna be sick afterwards. That sounds like food poisoning. That sounds like really bad food poisoning. But like, Kanye West came out and that gave an opening for folks like Lupe Fiasco to come out and similar artists that were not like the gangster cool kids, Kid Cudi, and like a bunch of more experimental rappers. And like, of course, conscious rap existed way before Kanye, but Kanye, I think, Kanye West opened up that lane on a mainstream level. Barry's bringing up the KFC buffet.
That does not look good.
So disgusting. This looks gross. I would never eat at a KFC buffet in my life.
Doesn't look great.
But Tyler is that dude who's been doing that now for a little bit, right? Like he is dressing up a specific way. He's dressing up actually similar to how old Kanye dressed up. But like he Flower Boy was his album where he I don't know if he came out on the album or during the album, but around that era,
both.
Like I guess
we're like it was in the album, and then it was like the next day where it's like, I can't believe I came out and nobody's been talking about it.
Yeah, which is amazing.
It's the most Tyler thing to do.
But he's making his own sound, and he's even doing sampling in a way that feels very unique and very different, and very Tyler in a way that Kanye West, when he sampled, his samples were Kanye West as samples. So I think you're exactly right that like he is the new quote unquote Kanye West.
Yeah, and I think that having that, honestly, like when he came out on Flower Boy, that was such a big moment for me, and I think a lot of other people, like recontextualizing his music a little bit, right? Like seeing like it wasn't hateful necessarily, it was like internalized homophobia and like things like that. Like, and it's like that was a big moment where I was like, okay, like something's going on a little bit deeper here, and I like that was my moment where I've fell back in love with Tyler. I was a big fan of him when I was young and he was really edgy, fell off of him, and then Flower Boy came around, and his just trajectory past Flower Boy ever since has been fucking amazing. Like I think he's such a brilliant person. He's so fucking funny too. Like, dude, he fucking rolls. I just adore Tyler. So he's been releasing like clockwork too, which is wild. Like every 2 years. It's crazy.
I was shocked when he announced the album. I was like, "There's no way."
So this was my thing, and like, when did he announce this album? Because when I woke up on Friday and like I saw Roger tweeting about it, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know about it until then?
Wow, so like I woke up on that Friday, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like let's go! Like new Tyler.
That's awesome.
I didn't know that like singles had released. Like I guess I was just so out of the loop. Granted, like we were in the middle of E3 chaos when Lumberjack came out, or like right after E3 chaos, and then like right before me going to Cleveland, and then I think I saw like a snippet of Was Your Name coming out, but then that was also like I was in Cleveland or like traveling or whatever, so it was just like kind of like this perfect mixture of like when it finally blew up with the album coming out, I was like, fuck yeah.
It was only like a month at most of a lead up. Like, cause I remember seeing on Reddit a billboard that was just Call Me By Your Name. That's all it said. And people were like, oh fuck, I think this is Tyler. Cause it says like, cause if you call it, it's like Tyler's mom or whatever. And that was only a month ago. So it's like, he had like such a short release window, and I love that shit. I really want one day, like a big artist like that to like drop within 24 hours. Like I really want that to happen. Like that doesn't happen much, but I really want like a Kendrick or somebody to just like come out and just be like, I'm dropping tomorrow, full album coming out tomorrow. Like I feel like the world just stops like when that happens. Like I love like short.
J. Cole's done that a couple times, right? Or does he usually announce beforehand? beforehand.
He announces it like a week beforehand, usually.
And didn't Beyonce do that like once or twice?
Yeah, Beyonce was the one that did
Lemonade,
that.
Right?
Yeah, I feel like that like
maybe
dropped out of fucking nowhere.
In fact, I think it might have been the one before Lemonade. Like Beyonce was the one that
444. Yeah, not 444.
did that.
Jesus, not
the Jay-Z. Beyonce dropped
the Jay-Z of one. She dropped the Jay-Z.
It was just the self-titled one, right? Beyonce.
I think it was the one after the self-titled one.
That was Lemonade. I'm pretty sure it went Beyonce and then Lemonade. Yeah.
No, I was thinking about I think it's just Beyonce. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was her.
Yeah, because that was like right when Alyssa and I started seeing each other too.
So why did my Google font change? Do you guys notice this?
Nah. Someone hacked into your system, bro.
Yeah, it's me, bro.
It happens. Yeah, going through the Beyonce album. It was definitely the Beyonce album because none of these songs came out beforehand.
Yeah,
I remember it well.
Dude, I love a good surprise drop. I want a video game to do that. I've always thought about this. Like, I want GTA 6 just come out tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like
2025, man, that's the earliest.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But like, I mean, like in 2025, right? We hear nothing about it, and then it's like,
I'll love that.
Available
because,
right now.
That wouldn't make a difference for GTA 6. It would still sell out phenomenally.
Yeah, it's not like no. For sure there's people that have to save money for it and everything, but the amount of fucking people immediately that will just spend whatever money they have on that fucking game.
I would immediately call out of work.
Yeah, 1,000%.
People will move their schedules for GTA 6.
I mean, like maybe that's the problem. Maybe they feel that responsibility in the middle of their hands, where it's like, if we just drop this, the world is going to stop, and like industries will stop for a day, and like everything will be fucked up, and it'll all be chaos, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Anyway, the fact that like it's too big of a moneymaker for them to take that kind of risk. They're like, for sure. We are not playing around with GTA like this.
That's a game that could drop anytime, and they could do it.
I feel like Half-Life 3 could do that, like, or could have done that before.
Half-Life 3
could have done that. I don't think they can do that anymore.
Not with Alex anymore, but because they've set it up now, it's gonna be a thing. But
not even that. I don't know if like like there's the joke of like where's Half-Life 3, but it's more of just like if they just like shadow dropped Half-Life 3, like how many like would that actually do numbers in like what they're trying to sell and stuff like that. Whereas GTA is always in the conversation, whereas I think GTA 6 dropping at any random moment without any pre-marketing for it, that would
Dude, I get like teary-eyed thinking about that. Like that would be the greatest hype moment of all time. Yeah. Like just waking up on a fucking random Tuesday or whatever and just looking at your phone and GTA 6 is out. Like how crazy would that be?
I think
that gives me nervous sweats just thinking about that. Just like content. Dude, if I woke up like one like fucking Wednesday morning, it's like GTA 6 dropped, like I'd be like, oh fuck, like I gotta get dressed. We gotta like have a meeting about what the fuck we're doing.
How are we covering this? Which is why they wouldn't do it, because I think they know how people would be pissed. People in the industry would be pissed.
But they don't care. They don't fucking care.
that would ride away so fast. Like no one would give a shit about us.
I mean, I don't know, man. I feel you got to maintain that relationship.
Like we give a fucking shit. It's the same with like Ubisoft and EA doing their like hour-long countdown before their conferences. Like
fuck that, dude.
For us, it was annoying, but like for the general public, people like they didn't like. All right, whatever, fucking whatever. It was annoying for us for our jobs, but they don't fucking care.
That's a different thing, though. Like for us, that's an hour of inconvenience. Whereas GTA 6 dropping is like weeks of content for us. Going like, what the fuck do we do? How the fuck? Everybody, stop what you're doing and let's plan this shit out. How do we do, guys?
Dude, imagine they drop it during E3 week just to fuck with us, dude.
Like, oh my god, could you imagine? E3 would be over. Like you'd have to shut down E3. Like everybody would leave and just go cover GTA 6.
Yeah, or you just have to like dismiss people. Like just be like you're doing GTA stuff. Go just fucking do GTA.
That would be
stuff.
Pandemonium. I think realistically, one that could happen would be Hideo Kojima shadow dropping a game. I think he's the kind of dude that would appreciate like the novelty of that, but it would probably be.
I think he would appreciate it. I don't think he would do it. I don't think because he's working with all these big companies. If he was like truly independent, he would fucking do that. I wish he was truly independent.
I don't know, man.
Like things by himself. He would do crazy shit.
I think if say his next game is being published by PlayStation, I think they'd let him do it. I think they would let him be like, you know what, man?
Nah.
They let him make Death Stranding, which is a game that I still don't know
which was a game that they were like think about it on a marketing side where it's like there's no way they would be confident enough to just drop that. They're probably thinking on their end like, how the fuck do we sell this game to people? Like what that actual game ended up being is just like, oh my god.
That's the thing is the way they marketed Death Stranding. They did it purely off of cinematics for a couple of years, and then it wasn't until right before the game dropped, but they were like, all right, here's some gameplay, and everyone was like, what the fuck is this shit? This is weird. And then we get the game and we're still like, what the fuck is this shit? This is weird. Like, it was weirder than we even thought it was.
I could see Xbox letting him do that. Like, just because I feel like they're so like, they're not like desperate necessarily at all. Like, but I think that they could be like more of like, okay, like, you're Kojima, we're working with you, like whatever your vision is, like we'll support it. Like we're here to assist you completely. I think Sony a little bit more like, hey, we need to do this stuff fucking traditional way. Whatever, like we can't. So
what really you're saying is Microsoft would be more likely to back Kojima building a city, is what you're saying.
Yes, 1,000%. Fucking Phil Spencer and Kojima City right there.
Yeah, we've gotten really far away from it, but I just wanted to say that I also really liked the new Tyler, the Creator album.
And
it was really fun to listen to, and I agree with both of y'all. Like, it's a good combination of a lot of his, like, I would say, like, post Odd Future era music, from like Cherry Bomb to Flower Boy to Igor and to this. I think it's a really good mixture of all of that.
And we got a Odd Future reunion, by the way.
With, Damo,
with,
like,
Damo
which
Genesis.
is like the
Damo
first
Genesis
time I think, like, it's been a very long time since we got a collaboration from them, at least. I forget if like there's any other Odd Future.
Frank Ocean and
I'm
pretty sure he's worked with the internet.
Give me a song.
Frank Ocean was always like kind of
Odd
Future, you know. He was like, I'm kind of am, but like also there's a lot of like
he was Odd Future. He was there.
Yeah, he was on oldie, but he wasn't. Videos. Yeah, but he was like, you could tell he was like the older brother trying to be like, I'm need to get the fuck out of here.
Because like whenever a Frank Ocean album would come out, like that's not an Odd Future joint. That's a Frank Ocean album, and so that's why it's like he was kind of part of it, but also trying to distance himself because they were rowdy as fuck back then, and that was definitely not his image for the most part.
But he brought them to the Grammys. He brought them to the Grammys, which was crazy.
That's true.
I love that video. Have you seen that video of Tyler bringing along Frank bringing along Tyler and Taco to the Grammys and them answering questions for him at the fucking like press line, and it's the stupidest fucking thing. He can tell he's so embarrassed. He's so fucking embarrassed.
But yeah, I'm kind of with you, Blessing. I don't know if I like it more than I definitely like it more than Igor. I would say I don't know if it's even near Flower Boy for me, because Flower Boy just is on another
Flower
level.
Boy is my number one with a bullet, and I think Igor I like a lot for the music and the
artistic
melodies.
Direction and
and the direction of it. I think Igor just has really good songs, whereas like I think I'm still waiting for these songs to grow on me. I like the lyricism. Like I think this has better lyrics than Igor, but I don't know if the melodies and the actual music is better than Igor. I think that's where I'm at currently.
That's fair.
I feel like I'm the same way. Flower Boy, Igor, and then Call Me by Your Name. But Call Me by Your Name. Nope, that's not the name of it. Call Me When You Get Lost. Fuck me, dude. A lot of calling. A lot of calling.
This is not a memorable title album.
Yeah, not a great name.
Title.
Yeah. For sure.
Or no, title for an album. I can figure that one out.
Akron or Akon? I don't know. Who fucking
knows? Same shit. I think that I like this as like kind of like a I feel like this is a little bit harsh, but it feels like almost like a rest stop, like him, like kind of like coming together, like bringing everything that he's learned and not trying to make that huge leap yet, because it doesn't feel like that huge leap. It feels like he's like gathering together all the things he's learned, kind of going to his past, like mixing a lot of the themes that he's already talked about, like talking about now he's like bringing in like I like the fact that he's like bringing in like his bisexuality to it, like we're learning more about that, and like there's a lot of great things from the previous records that he's bringing into this.
And honestly, it reminds me when Cherry Bomb came out, because it was one of those things where like Cherry Bomb was a kind of a great like pit stop at the time when it came out. It wasn't like this huge leap after Wolf, but it was definitely like a like
that might have been shadow dropped. Cherry
Bomb. I don't think.
No, I don't think it was. There was a young...
I think the single was shadow dropped. I think it was just like boom. Here's the single.
Because like the song "Too Fucking Young" is from Cherry Bomb, right? I think that definitely came out before the album.
Yes. Let's see here.
Although I don't remember if it was announced with the album. Like I think that was just a single that was dropped, and the album might have actually been dropped without like. I think that song happened to be on the album, but it might have been shadow dropped.
It was supposed to be shadow dropped, but then by accident it was uploaded. 2 songs and the album were uploaded to iTunes on April 9th, and then the 13th it came out. So it was supposed to be shadow dropped.
Okay.
I remember it being leaked.
Gotcha.
I think that's how I listened to it early.
Yes.
Underappreciated.
I can see Lady Gaga making a city.
I need to go back to Cherry Bomb. I remember. I think it's just one of those albums that has had so much negativity around it that I just like. It's hard for me.
And it was Cherry Bomb is so good.
It was one of those things where like Wolf was so fucking great. That I just think it was like hard to like. It just is like a full cohesive album. I think following that up, like just looking at the track list for Wolf, man, like you've got Awkward,
so good.
Damo 23, 48, Colossus. I fucking hate you. Rusty, dude, them performing Rusty on whatever fucking talk show it was, and it being like the most awkward performance ever is
really?
seriously
That's funny.
No, but it's like they leaned into it too because they knew that their audience was like old white people, and it's just the funniest fucking.
That is not the
man.
song to perform at a talk show,
dude. Rusty is.
I was listening to that earlier today. That's my favorite song from the album. Like
I think
every
Rusty
single verse
might
on there killed it.
Easily a top 3 Tyler song for me.
It might be my favorite. Smuckers is up there too. Yeah. It's definitely top 3 for me.
Tamale, and then if you go
Tamale. That's such an irritant. I love it though.
It's such a fun. It's just like a fun song. And then
Cherry Bomb is just pure vibes though. Cherry Bomb is just like mad like
2-seater. I do love 2-seater from Cherry Bomb. Smuckers, keep
2-seater. You got Smuckers. You got fucking Young / Perfect with Charlie Wilson, which is such a fucking vibe. You got the Brown Stains of Darkies Latifah Part 6 through 12, the remix, which I always appreciated. I like that song. I can understand why anybody else wouldn't. But
the Flower Boy,
I like it for the vibes.
Is still unfuckwithable, you know. No, nothing can reach those heights, man.
Yeah, man, Tyler does have such a discography.
Yeah,
dude, 7 albums in, dude. He's like, how old is he? He's super fucking young. Like it's
a couple
wild.
years older than he's 30. Yeah, because he's
30
his age. Yeah.
It's 7 albums at 30. Like that's wild. He's already like outpacing Kanye, like in terms of the amount of like I think like just
where
records he's gonna have.
I think trajectory and age and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like the way that he's going right now, I could easily see him like having. I'm not gonna say it now. That's gonna
say it. Say it. Say it. You fucking coward.
I think he might have more classic albums than Kanye.
You think he will surpass Kanye?
I think he can do it. I think he can do it. I think he can do it. I don't think he will. I think he can do it. Because I think Kanye's on the fall off right now.
Oh yeah, Kanye. I mean, Kanye's been on the fall. He's been on the fall.
So it's like we have like 7 albums, maybe 7 albums that we can.
I don't know if Tyler's best album will ever reach Kanye's best album. I think he'll put out more consistently good albums.
Flower Boy is such an amazing record, though. Dude, that album for me like was just such an like. The coming out experience of that, like fucking Garden Shed is so fucking good. Like when with Estelle in the background, like it is such a masterful record. I think that entire thing from front to back is fucking like. And
listening to it on like vinyl and shit, oh, it's so fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah, and for me, it's November. Like I think the way that November helps round out that album towards the end of it is just so perfect. That's to me another one of my favorite Tyler songs. But I don't know, Flower Boy, one of my favorite albums ever. I'll still put a couple of Kanye albums above it.
Sure.
And I don't know if I can get anything from Tyler that's gonna be better than Flower Boy. Like Flower Boy does feel like his magnum opus.
But Igor's really great too. Like I feel like I feel like if I don't know, like I think if we're looking at the pure music side of it, I would go Igor, but I think Flower Boy means so much to me with just my life and also just the fact that it's what it's about to is really impactful. But I think music wise, like Igor's better. So like I don't know. It's I think he's just so young. Again, 30 is so fucking young for an artist like him who's just starting. So it's like it's crazy.
Yeah. I don't musically Flower Boy versus Igor is an interesting one because I think Igor is probably more consistently good in terms of like the music of it than Flower Boy, but I think Flower Boy has higher highs for me in terms of music because I look at See You Again with Kali Uchis and oh my god, bro, sonically that shit fucking slaps. Even Paul with dude, like Jaden just Smith,
like
I really like.
I use it like my morning routine for the longest time, like getting ready for work. So, like I would take a shower and like I would immediately put on Flower Boy, and then like like those first couple of tracks, like while taking a shower and stuff, and just like getting ready for the day. Oh,
yeah, all wet and wild, listening
man.
to fucking
And then you get out of the shower, and then Who Dat Boy comes in. You're like, all right, let's fucking go. Let's fucking punch people in the face.
Fucking rocks, dude. What a great. And he's such a. Also, we should say, like, he's such a talented, like, outside of music, right? Like, with his directing and everything has always been fantastic. Like, and he's also a great actor too. Like, he's truly a renaissance man, and I fucking adore that dude. And he's just funny as fuck. Did you see that guy that he's this artist that like he makes these videos where he's a rapper and he like raps over like a melody of a bunch of of a certain rapper's beats, and he did one for like a bunch of artists, but he did one for Tyler the Creator. It's like an 8-minute video of him rapping over a bunch of Tyler the Creator songs. It's called Hi Tyler the Creator. And then no artist ever messages him except for Tyler. And then the message that Tyler wrote him was, "You're gay." And I fucking love this man so much. That's
really fun.
Dude, it was like it was fucking David Letterman. Was the talk show where they performed Rusty.
Dude, that's the worst one too. That's the worst one.
That's the oldest host.
Yeah,
you can't find an older host than David.
He actually did have Hatsune Miku on like one of his last shows, so that is important to note. That David Letterman hip with the kids. Hip with the kids.
That's true.
He gets it.
David Letterman had. I thought you meant Tyler had Hatsune Miku performing live at one of his own shows.
But
like
I would not put it past
festival or whatever the fuck.
I would not put it. Imagine that, dude. Imagine that was the surprise guest instead of Drake, and it was Hatsune Miku. That would have been so.
That would have been such a Tyler the Creator move, though.
Oh yeah,
like let's troll these folks. Let's get out Hatsune Miku, an artist that people would go crazy for in any other setting, but the Tyler fan base would be like, what the fuck? I came here for Frank fucking Ocean.
Shout out to Taco though, who I finally started catching up on Dave, and he's one of the friends in that show, and he's really fucking good in that show.
He's a really good actor.
Yeah,
he's a great DJ too.
We're only a few episodes into season 2 of Dave, I believe, but like he had like a kind of central episode at one point that I just like, damn, like. I remember seeing this fucking kid in the background of Odd Future videos just being a fucking goofball, and like he's really good at it. And I'm hoping to see more of him, because like where they're kind of going with the plot of Dave, it might seem that it might be we don't see him as often, which would suck. But yeah,
it's kind of interesting what members of Odd Future blew up and which ones didn't. Like that's something that I look back on. Like I watched the oldie video, which is one of the greatest videos of all time, period. Like so good. And I will never forget fucking Frank Ocean. I think that was before he was even out, saying I'm high and I'm bi. Oh wait, I mean I'm straight. Which is amazing. I love him. But that video, like looking at all that talent in there and then seeing like who blew up, who like we don't even know where they are anymore. Like it's just really interesting.
What happened to Haji, man?
I think Haji had a beef with Drake, with Tyler, and he like yelled at him on stage. Like that was a thing. Yeah, one of the members, I'm pretty sure it was Haji, ran on stage at like during one of the golf concerts and was like, "Fuck Tyler, he's fake as fuck. Fuck this dude," and like he bounced and like he was just ousted ever since.
Jeez.
God damn.
Yeah. So they had a really bad. Yeah.
I miss the old Earl Sweatshirt.
No, you're annoying. You hate these fucking new albums so much,
and it's terrible. It's like one of the worst things I've ever listened to.
What was the most recent album?
It's I forgot the name of it. It's fantastic though.
It's the one where like the album art is him
some rap songs. It's all
mid motion with the camera.
It is fantastic. Well, you're just
some rap songs,
Yeah, your type of music isn't like the experimental type. Like,
no,
not really.
It is. Do you know what Charles Hamilton I listen to? Charles Hamilton is like the most experimental rapper of like the last fucking
comparatively
decade.
I mean maybe a decade ago. You know what I mean? Like this is the new.
There's some Charles Hamilton mixtapes that I love that are fucking way more weirder than this Earl Sweatshirt garbage. Like I love Earl Sweatshirt.
You're crazy, dude.
His latest album was really bad.
Fantastic. It's one of the best albums of that year.
I haven't really listened to a full album of his since Doris. Because I remember starting I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside, and then I never got through it. And then I've seen the cover of this album, his most recent one, but
scary. It's just scary.
Yeah, it's fucking.
The cover, the cover is fucking crazy. But yeah, I guess Doris is the last one I listened to too. Yeah, or I guess I Don't Like Shit. I think I'm with Barrett that I started it and I never went back to it.
I never continued. But dude, Doris was so fucking good, man. Yeah, like when he came out with Chum, oh dude. That's such a good song.
Barrett, I would love you to try some rap songs and be the deciding vote here, because I think it's really fantastic.
That'll be my homework for.
Yeah, I almost want to live listen. I'm like listening back to it to see, because I haven't listened to it since 2018.
Yeah,
and so I'm playing some songs now to see if like maybe I was just in a weird mind state.
That'll be my homework over the next month. I will listen to Doris,
to a 22-minute album.
I don't like shit. I don't go outside, and then some rap songs, and I'll listen to all 3 albums. And
I'll do that too.
See kind of like where I land here. A follow up from last episode though, transition. I just want to say, I was talking about this SpongeBob Vans collaboration, which was going to be the hottest drop of the summer. Y'all were talking shit about it because the stuff that they were advertising with before the collaboration dropped, y'all were like, oh, this stuff looks dumb. There's not a lot of going on here. And I said, y'all, trust me, I used to work at Vans. Whenever they put out collaborations, they always advertise with the dumbest shit, and then they have some secret good shit. And look at me wearing this really nice polo right now. I've worn a couple of like the other shirts from like other specific artists that they made. I'm just saying, man.
You made the right decision. Yeah, I like this polo on you. This is a really good looking shirt.
Yeah, thank you.
You're absolutely right.
I just wanted to say, fuck you two from last episode.
I take back all the hate. You're right. This shirt looks great. In fact,
I don't take back the hate because it's just a logical thing. It's insane to me that they showed the, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's insane to me that they're like, you know what?
Every time. It's like they're
marketing. They showed the worst products.
And this is like, exactly. I don't know what I'm allowed to legally say or legally not say since I used to work for Vans, but dude, their marketing team is shit. Like, they're so bad at marketing.
Maybe that's the point, though. Maybe this is the point. Maybe they're trying to, like, I don't know. Maybe there's like some like big brain, like 4D chess that they're trying to do here. Because I don't understand it.
Because I feel like every time they announce a collaboration and they just like tease some of the things, every time I'm like, oh, this is gonna be the one that like I'll have nothing that I want to buy, and then like they'll fully drop it. And I'm like, oh shit, there's so much cool shit here, and they nailed it again with the SpongeBob stuff. Well, there's a lot of cool shirts.
I'm happy that this is like the match made in heaven for you. So I'm happy that you've gotten some good things. Imagine if it was all trash. That would suck so bad for you. I know. You'd still get it. You'd still get it.
I'd still get something. I would want to get like one thing, but it would probably be like the socks or some shit.
So wasn't there a topic floated last week that was what we do if we weren't at Kind of Funny?
Yeah, I brought this up because I feel like this was a topic on the main Kind of Funny podcast like months and months ago. Like, kind of like not a grass is always greener kind of thing, but just thinking about like, was there ever like a moment in your life where if it was slightly changed, like you would definitely be doing something else, and like if you weren't doing the jobs that we're at today, like where would we be at in life right now? I wanted to throw that out there and have y'all think about that.
I mean, for a little bit, I wanted to. Barrett knows this. Like, I almost quit just because I was just like, I can't. Like, this is too much. Like, I wasn't getting anywhere. At least it felt it wasn't getting anywhere.
We had that heartfelt conversation at Irrational Passions. What was it? Extra live stream in 2017? No, 2018.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was 2018.
Yeah, holding a burnt vape, in the cold.
Yeah.
It was fucking depressing. It was so depressing, bro. But we had that amazing talk. It was very sweet, and you helped me out a lot. But I was ready to, and I was very much ready to like not give up the industry as a whole, but like just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna find the most secure job possible, and if it happens to be in the industry, that's great. But if it's at like a random like tech company like editing their videos, like that's fine too. Like I just wanted some form of stability and income. And I still have those moments, right? We all, I feel like we like that moment of like I could just like I could probably go over here and then make more money, but why would I do that? Because I like this job so much. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. That's probably if I were to not be at Kind of Funny, do something, I don't think it would be anything crazy. It'd probably still be video editing, video production, but it'd just be at a very corporate, boring place. And yeah, that's why I'm not there.
I know I have like a number of different things. Like there's probably there's a Loki show that could be just called Blessing about the different versions of me with the amount of different
all of your variants.
All my variants that are doing wildly different shit. Because I know for me, there was a moment in time where I would have been a youth pastor at some point. And like that was me late high school into early college, like being very involved in church and very involved in like leading youth group and shit and stuff that like I've not been connected to in years and years and years at this point. But that was definitely one that when I lived back home in Illinois, I that was a possibility for me. One that I think about quite often is like at a certain point, I wanted to pivot, like similar to Roger, from doing video game stuff to doing music stuff, because there was a time where at OK Beast I put out a couple of music video essays, and those ones did phenomenally. Like I had one that got 500,000 views, had others that did way more views than my actual video game content. And music is something that I'd say I love as equally, if not maybe even more, than video games. And that I often feel, especially when I'm talking about hip hop or I'm talking about rap specifically, I often feel almost more informed about than video games a lot of the time. And that varies, right? Because like it's hard for me to talk about a lot of current new rap, but I think rap just as a from I don't know, like from 90 up till 2021, I have a pretty like nice understanding of it in terms of just the broad spectrum of artists, and especially the artists that I'm into. But like, yeah, I think there's a timeline where if I decided to actually commit to the pivot and made more music content, that I would be either a music YouTuber or working for Hip Hop DX or some hip hop specific blog making content for that, because I felt very comfortable in doing that.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I'm sure
there's yeah,
you'd be such a cool youth pastor. You'd be so fucking cool, dude.
I'd be so lame. Cool. I don't even know why I thought I could be a youth pastor. I didn't read the Bible.
I don't know what the fuck happens in that shit.
Yeah, I don't know the ending. Read Revelation 1000 in middle school, and I was like, this is scary. This is really scary. It's talking about the apocalypse. If you read Revelation, it's wild. That
yeah, dude.
Two of the crazy.
I remember reading Revelation in like a fucking bookstore, and I was like, what the fuck is happening right now?
These Christians are fucking wild.
Bookstore, you're just sitting there on the floor. You're like, fuck yeah,
reading the Bible
right now.
It's like someone had brought it up someone had brought up the Book of Revelation to me like a couple weeks beforehand, and I was like browsing through the bookstore, and like for some reason I was in a section where the Bible is there, and I was like, let's check it out. And then I read it, and I was like, yo, fucking religion is wild.
That's crazy. Awesome. Yeah, yeah. I gotta check out the Bible right now.
Yeah, that was in like sixth or seventh grade or some shit, and I was like, yeah, fuck religion.
I thought that you were gonna say like this is like a year ago. I thought this was very recent for some reason.
And then I had to read the Bible again for high school at some point.
Did you go to a Catholic high school?
No, I went to a public school, but it wasn't in a religious context. It was, I had AP English in senior year of high school. And so it wasn't like for religious context, it was to bring up like, since like a lot of the fiction that we were going to read throughout that year, the Bible predates like pretty much all of it. It was one of those things of like, let's read like the first written source of like themes of light and dark, and like, and then like, have those kind of be the kind of tentpole structures that we have throughout the entire course. So we read it in more of like a literature storytelling context, and it was actually really cool. And then like we used that to like transition into like Plato's allegory of the cave and all that stuff. And so I learned a lot in that English class. That class was dope as fuck. Unfortunately, that teacher no longer works at the high school that I went to, but.
It was also for my first semester of college, I majored in graphic design because I wanted to be a graphic designer.
I did not know this.
Because it was your passion.
Because graphic design was my passion. Yeah, that's exactly right. And then after my first semester, I took art history, which I actually liked a lot. I took a couple of design classes, and I took drawing 101. And drawing 101 was the thing that convinced me that graphic design was not for me, because I could not draw to save my life. And I think I got a D in that class, and I would have had to retake it because you need at least a C for the graphic design major. Yeah, and so I was like, you know what? I'm not cut out for this. I'm going to change my major. And I think around that time, I started realizing that I wanted to do like video game journalism, and so I switched to communication.
It's the opposite for me. I started off doing graphic design. I mean, I was already always a fan of the industry and everything like that, IGN, things like that. But I started off doing graphic design. I really fucking loved it. And then I remember like it's just wild how like little things people say to you, like just fucking like stick in your fucking head. Yeah. I had this friend who's not a friend anymore, but he said to me that why would you do graphic design? There's so many people doing it. You're not going to be good. Like he just said that like offhandedly, randomly. And then I just took that to fucking heart, like always. And then I just never did it. And I just was like, and I can't draw. So like I had issue. I was scared about that. So then I just went into film, and then I spent way too much money at a film school for a year. And then I transitioned to like community college.
Yeah.
And then I met my amazing girlfriend, and she was like, you know, I'm doing graphic design over here. I think you'd be really good at it. So I did that 2 years ago now. And I did that while I was freelancing for Kind of Funny. And that was like to broaden my horizons. But that is also another possibility. I could just be a graphic designer. I can't draw, but I could do something like that.
You do graphic design for Kind of Funny often.
Yeah, but I can't draw. I can't draw though. You know what
That's
I mean?
fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
I got 2 more.
All right.
I have many variants. So
I appreciate it because I feel similar to you, Blessing. It's like a couple different avenues I could have gone down.
Yeah. So there was also a time where I wanted to get more into professional dance and either work at a dance studio or find something just specifically in hip hop dance to do. And it was my dad who talked me out of it, and like kind of a toxic parent kind of way, but also in like a tough love kind of way of like, you're not going to college for dance. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm not. I guess I'm just gonna do graphic design instead because that's my other passion. And like I danced anyway, right? Like I danced all throughout college, still on the side in like clubs and stuff. And there was, and when I say clubs, I don't mean like the club, even though I did dance in the club, but I also mean like I started a dance crew that was a college organization.
When you say on the side, I just think you're just like in the side of the class, like just dancing away, just having a fucking
in the side, just
over here, fucking doing clogging and shit.
You know, I'm in my film class, and they're like, I'm just over there like hitting it, doing the robot. But that was one, and then the last one is always a funny story for me because like I guess. Oh wow, it would have been almost 2 years ago at this point, probably like a year and a half ago, where I remember getting the call from Tim to join Kind of Funny and being super ecstatic about it, and then legit, I kid you not, the week after, my friend Carl calls me up, and Carl was like, "Hey man, like so like right now I'm doing stuff with Mr. Beast, and we're looking for a video editor to come work for us. You'd have to move out, do XYZ thing." And I was like, Carl, I appreciate it. Like it's a really lovely offer, but you know, I got a thing that I'm doing next year, and so I won't be able to come through.
Same call.
You got that same call. Me and Roger were competing for the same job.
Fucked up.
And both of us were like, no, man, this is Kind of Funny.
The wrong choice.
I went out to North Carolina, and I lived there for a few days, and I tried out and I was offered the job, and I was also offered the job at Kind of Funny around the same time, and I made this decision. So
and you look, and Carl is one of the most famous content creators on the planet.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, yeah, and also we were not competing for the same thing. There was multiple offers. There was multiple video editors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we weren't fighting for it because I would have won. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you would have. Trust me.
No, yeah.
You got them after.
Again, whenever I watch a video that Roger edited, I'm like, man, I don't deserve to have Premiere Pro on my fucking computer.
I feel that.
And then you deleted it.
Yeah,
I feel that, but it's also one of those things where I don't look at that as like a huge missed opportunity, even though who knows what it would have spawned out of that. But like that would have been for a very specific video editor position, which I like my hosting position at Kind of Funny. I think more than I would a video editing position for Mr. Beast, who I respect Mr. Beast. I love Carl, but I don't know if I'd want to edit videos for Mr. Beast. I'd rather just do my thing in KF, just as a fan of KF.
Yeah. Yeah,
also, I could have had a couple million followers like Carl does,
and gotten verified way quicker. Yeah, one of the ones like I've kind of talked about like my history of like passions before, but for the longest time I was very into music. I was a drummer for a very long time. I was in percussion and band, which then evolved into drumming and having my own set and stuff like that. It just like always felt like I'd never found the right group of friends to like start a band with, but like I feel like there's probably a variant of me that like eventually found like a group of people to make music with. And then there's definitely a variant of me who moved to Los Angeles to be an actor, because I was in theater for 3 of the 4 years of high school. I was the president of the drama club for my junior and senior year. And I was really passionate about it. And when it came time to like going out and auditioning for colleges and shit, I had gotten accepted to quite a few private ones down in LA. One of them is the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. And that's like a really like Anne Hathaway went there, Paul Rudd went there, Adam Scott went there, Robert Redford went there. I had gotten accepted. The thing is that place is expensive as fuck. And so I had gone, and so because of that, I was at least trying to pay for just a year, and I was like auditioning for like scholarship stuff, and I'd gotten I'd sent an audition for. Oh shit! The Barberry,
Hanna-Barbera?
No, not Hanna.
Yep.
You auditioned for Scooby-Doo.
Wow!
Holy shit! We would have been Fred.
No, what the fuck was it? It's in San Francisco, but it was like kind of this.
Fred.
This
stupid ass.
It's like this prestigious like theater thing in San Francisco, and it was like you could send in like audition. They had like 3 different different categories. There's acting, singing, and then dancing. And I had auditioned to go up for the like bunch of people sent in their auditions and like through video and stuff like that. And then a top 3 are selected for each category: acting, singing, and dancing. And I had gotten selected as one of the top 3 contestants for acting. And we had looked it up later. It was like I was the first public school student to be selected for the top 3 in like 8 years or some shit like that.
Jesus.
Which was like, even just that was like, holy shit, that's really cool. And so now that I'm saying this out loud, I feel like I've told this story on the show before, but maybe not.
I don't think you have.
And so
I remember this.
Because it was like acting, singing, and dancing, there was like a lot of like guest judges for like the final thing. And who was there for the dance? I think it was either the dance
Frankie
category.
Muniz.
No, it was MC Hammer was there.
Oh,
to be a guest judge for dancing. For the dancing category.
MC Hammer himself.
But like all the judges were there for all of the performances, so I got to perform my monologue in front of MC Hammer, which is still I think one of the coolest things I can ever say in my life.
I honestly thought I thought you were going to say something a lot more prestigious than MC Hammer. What type of operation is this?
It was, I'm trying to think of what the name was.
This is so you think you can dance.
And so
Barrett's out there doing a monologue.
Yeah, and it's
like, do you know what show this is?
It was like my kind of like one shot to like be able to get like money for AADA, and unfortunately I did not win the scholarship. Apparently, according to like a bunch of my friends, like my family were there, like my dad had flown out, and like they had all gone to see it because it's like a show essentially.
Yeah.
And like a bunch of people were there. Like the girl that I was seeing at the time went, and then like afterwards. And they had like awarded to like all the people who like won. I was in the car with someone. I think it was like my mom. She was like, "We could barely hear you for half of your monologue." Like apparently I got mic'd up. Like when I got mic'd up, it was like really fucked up, and you could barely hear me for half my performance. And I was like,
"Oh, that's some bull.
Fuck that. That sucks." And so if I was mic'd differently, maybe I'd be an actor down in LA, a starving actor. Probably
could have been a contender.
Probably would not have made it at this point. Because I feel like I was decent, but like I don't know if I really would have made a career path of it.
Listen, I've seen you record those Arkham reviews. Very good. You know what I mean? If you're anything like that, then I think you could have been the next Paul Rudd. See the pinnacle of acting?
That's the thing is like I would love Barrett, like TV Barrett, right? Like watching the MCU.
Ooh, I can see that.
And like Barrett plays.
I have
Vision.
I have a distant cousin or some shit on like the Goldbergs or some shit. I forget like who like what role they have, but I remember my grandma like calling me around the time that I was trying to be an actor and shit. And yeah, I remember that, but yeah. Very weird.
Speaking of borked auditions, going back to the time I used to almost be a dancer, I have probably one of the most embarrassing stories.
You dance in front of Danny DeVito.
MC Hammer.
MC Hammer.
I auditioned for a Macklemore music video.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell
back when I
yeah.
lived in Seattle. Yeah, and it was like this dope ass thing. It's fun because a lot of big cities have their own dance communities, and you see a lot of like recurring people show up at different events and stuff.
Yeah.
And so for the Macklemore audition, that thing had a line going out the door and around the corner of just a bunch of different dancers who were all hyped to try out for this thing. I finally get in after like an hour or so of waiting in line. And the way that they do the audition is that they have a bunch of judges sitting toward the front of the room, and then they'll have people divided into groups who all have to go on and dance at the same time, and the judges will pick based on like what their number is. But like,
is this a specific dance are you doing, or is it just freestyle?
It's just freestyle. And so you go in there, do your dance, and they'll call you up if they want to see more from you or whatever. And so like, I kid you not, it was probably around 20 people dancing in groups at the same time, which is a lot.
What music did they put on? Just a fucking Macklemore song, or did they put on some random shit? Like, I need to know the details.
I think it was a Macklemore song. I think the song was "Dance Off" from.
Oh, I fucking hate that song with fucking Idris Elba. Fuck that song.
Yes,
dude.
what? I don't like that song either.
Idris Elba's on that?
Dance Off. Fucking sucks.
Is he like fucking? Is he rapping on that track, or what is he doing?
Yeah, he's like the narrator of it. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It's one of those songs that I had on my playlist that I just like. I had a playlist that I would always skip, and I had it on my playlist for like 4 years. So it was just the song that I fucking hate. That
yeah, if you look at the music video, there's hella people in that music video that actually know.
I didn't know there's a music video. That's cool.
Yeah, there's a music video for that one, and that was the music video I was auditioning for. But so like there were a few tips that people gave me like on the way up. They were like, hey, if you want to get noticed, make sure you stand toward the front. You know, do some wild shit, like get eyes on you. And I was like, bet I can do that. And so my group finally gets called up, and I'm like, cool, got to make sure I'm in the front, and I'm dancing, I'm doing my thing, and like, it's going well, it's going fine for the most part. The thing I'm realizing is that none of the shit I'm doing is sticking out because it's not big enough. I felt like I was blending into the crowd too much, and so I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hit a front flip because I know how to hit a front handspring kind of flip. I know how to hit that. I've hit that a million times, and so I go for it. Like basically the way I do it is like I do a move, get my back turned to the judges, so I have like enough like space to do it. Go for it. My foot catches the judges table on my way around. The judges table collapses.
Oh god!
I fall down. I look back. I see the judges' faces in horror. I look back and the people are still dancing, and I'm like, and I kid you not, I get back to dancing because I don't know what else to do in that moment but to just keep dancing. And I kid you not, it's a story I don't tell often because it's maybe the most embarrassing story I have.
Dude, that's that reminds me of like.
I didn't dance for a while after that.
That reminds me of like like Atlanta show like cringiness where like they're trying to make it and they do something to fuck it up and you're like, oh god, like that's that is TV show worthy of like that story being told and just making everybody cringe watching
that
it.
Rules so hard.
It is maybe one of my best.
Do you know what music video it was for? Or,
it was for Dance Off.
Oh, it was for Dance Off. Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of people in it. That's awesome. That's awesome. And when you flipped over the table, was Macklemore under the table, just sitting there? He's listening.
I would freak out if Macklemore saw that shit. Like
that would roll.
Yeah,
he wasn't there, but I guarantee someone mentioned that story.
I'm sure somebody might have been like, "Bro, you should have been at
this fucking thing. Idiot.
This guy fucking tried to do a flip and he fucking."
What are the odds that Idris Elba knows about this now? You know what I mean? Like there has to be maybe there's a small chance that someone offhandedly mentioned this to Idris Elba, and that's wild to me. Yeah, this fucking
that would ruin my life.
Just like
that would ruin my life.
Idris Elba knowing like the only part of my existence that Idris Elba knows is just this off story of me fucking terrifying the judges at an audition for his video. Meanwhile, I'm over here like Luther is my favorite show. Idris Elba noticed me. God.
I don't know what I would do either. I mean, I think you did the right thing. I think I would just left. I think that's like the person I am.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do. But I was also like, there's over 100 people in this room right now, and they all just saw the same thing. And I can't just walk off. Like that's not like that. I feel like that's too defeated. I have to keep going, even though in my mind I know they're not going to pick
awesome. Me. Yeah.
I did kind of redeem myself a little bit later because like people. While waiting for the judges to deliberate, they just started a dance circle, and I got to get in there, and I hit some moves, and I was like, you know what? Okay, I feel better about that. I feel good about
You know what? Maybe this seems like a story that someone would tell, but then like they get hired. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they took the balls. They had the balls to do that move, and it collapsed the judges' table. But I was like, that's the guy. That's the fucking guy. That's Harrison Ford.
Like Macklemore walks in and like sees Blessing's energy. He's
exactly.
like, that's who I'm looking for.
He knows how to go for it. I'm looking for the passion.
And the executive producer's like, no, dude, he broke the table. Macklemore's like, it's my fucking music video.
Exactly. He did break the table. That's the type of shit I'm looking for. That didn't happen. I did not hear from them again.
That's awesome.
I did not hear from Macklemore.
Oh no,
man.
Yeah,
I don't know where you go from here.
Anybody have we can wrap up like we've done.
I wanted to just kind of throw out because I feel like I was so out of the loop with everybody being gone for a week, visiting family in Cleveland, and so like. I saw the whole like Greg Andy golf the thing, but like Mario Golf is out and stuff. I'm just like wondering like, well, y'all been like watching, playing, and stuff like that. Because like I feel like all I did over break was like
Final Fantasy VII
replays SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom on Switch, and then catch up on Dave. And then I did actually start a bunch of shows. Like I finally watched Ted Lasso, which was fucking great.
I gotta watch that. I keep putting.
I have that on the plane. So I've queued it up for the plane.
It's Roger. It's good vibes, and like if you're looking for good vibes on a plane, like that's all you need. Ted Lasso, and then we'd gotten Apple TV Plus for Central Park, which is like that animated musical show with like Leslie Odom Jr., Catherine Hahn.
Daveed Diggs, right?
Yeah, Daveed Diggs like voices like one of the kind of like villains. Josh Gad is the narrator, and it's like the same animation company that does or team that did Bob's Burgers. That's a really fun show. And then while I was gone, Alyssa started Mythic Quest, which is like when Mythic Quest was announced. I feel like they announced that at Ubisoft's E3, right? Like that was like
what a bad decision.
Which was so weird, decision. And like I remember like all of us kind of being put off by it, like or whatever. And then Alyssa like started it because we have Apple TV, and so she's like, I might as well. And she like 3 episodes in, she was like, holy shit, I think I love this show. And I was like, wow. And so, yeah, she got me to watch like the entire first season in the last week. And honestly, I'm like, holy shit. Like we definitely kind of undersold this show to ourselves. And I definitely recommend more people to check out Mythic Quest because it is very, very good.
Yeah, that's good to hear from you because Yusef talks it up all the time. And I'm always like, you're from Ubisoft. Can I trust you?
Yeah, and I love Yusef, but it's like, how much is that Ubisoft talking? You know, but
every time he says it, he gets $1. Every time he says it,
but it was one of those things. Like, it takes a couple episodes to get into, and then there's like a certain episode where it was like, holy shit, I'm invested in the kind of like over like the universe that they're weirdly building, but then also just like the specific characters, and it's really fun. It's like a lot of like
it looks fun.
And I didn't know like Charlie Day was involved as well. Like he's like one of the creators and the writers, and like one of the other dudes like is the priest from Always Sunny. Like that really crazy dude who like starts off nice as a priest, and then like the gang like
becomes homeless,
like makes him like
ruins his life
and shit. And yeah, he's like a crazy person like in since like season 4 essentially. Like yeah, he's like the executive producer of like the studio and shit like that. And it's very cool to see them like all make this kind of satire about video game development and really kind of call out gamers all around in every aspect of the sentence. It's really good.
I can't wait to watch it.
I have something for you, Barrett, that I'm very excited that I'm gonna start very soon. Persona 5 Royal is downloaded.
Yeah, baby.
It is bought.
Oh yeah.
It was on sale. I bought it. I just finished Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I know you have thoughts about it. I know you have thought. I loved it. And I thought it was a good time.
I don't need to share my thoughts. I
remember 2020.
China Funny's game of the year. And I agree with that because that game is. I play that game, man, and I was like, I think every video game should be this game. Every video game should be this game, and I feel that way. Dude, as someone who has recently come out as pansexual, this is the most bi energy video game I've ever played. Oh, yeah. It makes me so happy. It makes me feel things.
Cloud's arms,
and I love it.
Cloud's
arms. Oh my god! Don't even get those arms.
I'm like, what in the world is going on?
And the whole fucking dancing sequence. Oh my fucking god! Like it is. You know what I mean? It's just so good. And I just felt, and happy Pride Month, right? Like that's all I'm gonna say. Like happy Pride Month. And I finished that and I really enjoyed it.
I can't believe Square, and that's why they wanted to re-release Final Fantasy VII Remake, was to celebrate Pride Month this year.
Pride Month. Yeah, they're like, we know what we need to give the people.
That's why they've waited so long.
This came from last year, but again.
In higher definition. Here are more of his biceps.
Hell yeah.
So I also have been watching Dave season 2. I think it's been 3 episodes, right? I think I'm caught up on
it. The most recent one was the one with Benny Blanco, and they're having their bromance and they're calling each other.
I don't know how I feel about season 2 so far. It's been a weird season so far.
I think they're hammering in even more of like what I was so unsure of with season 1 is that like everybody around Dave I really like. Dave is a fucking terrible person. And I think that's a very interesting like way that he is deciding to tell like his like I know this is only like kind of loosely based off of his life and it's a very fictionalized version of Little Dicky, but it is one of those things where I'm like the more with every decision Dave makes, the more I fucking hate him, and like the bigger of an asshole he is, and it's just like Atlanta
does the same thing too, which is interesting because like Dave is very much trying to be Atlanta, the show, and Atlanta has the exact same thing where Earn is the worst character in that show, the character that Donald Glover plays, and every other character around him is so phenomenal in terms of the way they're in terms of like who they are and how and like the acting and even the side characters, like the tertiary characters are like have so much personality. Like the episode with the barber taking paper all around the place, like every side character in Atlanta is so good. And I think Dave is doing trying to do a similar thing, at least with like, hey, Dave is an asshole, but the people around him are what makes the show, or what makes the show. And we're just trying to put this guy in all these different situations to kind of, fuck with him and all this stuff.
And that's the impressive thing is that like even like when they like they build him up to be this terrible person, and then but even like when he goes on the Breakfast Club, I'm still rooting for him in that weird way. Where like at the end of season 1, where I'm like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. Because he is really good at what he does. Like when Roger Picorni from Kind of Funny.
I have a question about this because I have not seen this fucking show, right? I'm not particularly a huge fan of Little Dicky or Dave or whatever we call him now. I don't know if he actually changed his name. But I saw that ending scene and I was baffled that is that supposed to be good? Like, was that actually supposed to be like a good rapping, or is that like the bit within the show that it's not good? Because I thought that was awful, and I can't believe that was supposed to be like the moment, and I was like, it honestly made me angry that I was like, I don't want to watch this. Well,
because it was like it was really him deciding to go off the dome and do freestyle, because the entire bit of that episode is that. He's working on this album and he has this single and it's about the prison system and like the first.
I saw that. That's very good.
The first 6 minutes are like really fucked up and stuff. And he's like, the studio, like the company he's like signed with is like, no, we can't release this. Like this is awful. And then, but like he's showing it to Benny Blanco and like even Benny's like, this is like the best thing I've ever listened to and stuff like that. So the entire episode is like, should Dave leak the single and stuff like that, and like if it works out, then like like the record company can't be mad because then like they get more attention and eyes on them and shit like that, and there's more hype around the album. Or it could go the other way where they release it, not everybody gets what the song is about, and then everybody hates Dave and all of this stuff. So that moment was more about Dave making the decision to not fuck over everybody around him, which is like kind of like one of those moments at the end where it's like the entire season is all like the entire show is like all about him obsessing becoming famous and taking that moment to decide to like not fuck over everybody that he has made a relationship with was like, all right, like that's fucking awesome. Whether or not like the rapping was good, he does it very fast.
And like going back to I just listened to it again and I think it's supposed to be good, and like I think it's
that's
fine,
the part I hate about it. I like and like the fact that they paid Charlemagne to be like, yeah, this is fucking lit. Like you know what I mean? Like
the thing is, it's a very explicit reference to times that Lil Dicky has been on not Breakfast Club. I think Sway specifically. Sway in the Morning, where he's done a few freestyles there.
Right.
And I would say that those freestyles have actually been like legitimately fire. Like it's of course like each their own, but I think it's supposed to be more of a hearkening to that than like actually that where like if it is written for TV, it is like a freestyle that's written as like a scripted thing for TV for him to perform in that way. But I think his actual thing.
I do think the freestyle when he's in the studio in like the first or second episode, where it's like he's with like YG and shit, and like the one where he shows off to everybody that he's actually good at it. I do think that freestyle is way better than the one that they ended with. So I will.
Yeah, that's why I just couldn't believe. I was like, this is written. You know what I mean? Like he's had like better like off the dome ones. Like that's what I couldn't believe. But yeah, that's the only reason. Honestly, like I don't know. Like that just turned me off so much. But I might give it a try. I mean,
it has that verse has like the one you're talking about has like throwaway Lil Dicky verse energy to it, which you know might be the thing. Like I love Lil Dicky. I don't know if I want to listen to the throwaway Lil Dicky verses. You know, I want to listen to that hot shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, when is he gonna release another album? Because I actually did like his first album. I thought that.
I mean, that was like fucking ever ago, right? Like he hasn't released a full album in years, right?
Yeah.
It was professional. It was back in 2015 when he did Professional Rapper.
I also watched the first episode of Rick and Morty, the new season.
Ever?
Oh yeah.
No, not ever. Oh hi, Lulu. No, I went back and watched some of the previous episodes from the previous season, but then the first episode from the new season is on YouTube, which is why I watched it, because I don't have cable, so I don't have a way to keep up with the new season. But show continues to be pretty good. Like I really like Rick and Morty. I like it for how much it throws its own shit out the window whenever it tries to be serious. Hey, I got the same mug.
Yeah, my girlfriend Leanza, she loves Rick and Morty. Never seen more than 2 episodes of it. She loves the idea of it. She talks about it all the time. She loves this fucking Fortnite skin so much. She talks about it all the time. She tells everybody about Rick and Morty. She doesn't know. She has the fucking. I got her that shirt with the Swifty on it. She has no idea what the fuck that means.
What?
I love that.
So even Alyssa thinks like even Alyssa knows what Swifty is.
I love it. I love it so much, and I think it's a great bit. And I think that more people need to do that. You know what I mean? Just be like, I fucking never seen this fucking show, but it rules.
Dude, I'm really into Lord of the Rings. Have I ever read a book or seen a movie? Fuck no, but I really love Lord of the Rings. That's gonna be
me. I've seen all 3 Hobbit movies. You know what I mean? But
I'm the biggest Kingdom Hearts fan of all time. I've only played the first one. Never
finished the first one for me. I'm like 28 hours into it, and I can't believe I'm not fucking done with this shitty game.
Are you still playing, or have you given up yet?
I've given up. I'm fucking done. You know what I mean? Like I went back to the fucking Beauty and the Beast castle like 3 times already, and I'm like, I'm fucking done with this game.
Oh, you're close to the end, right? If you've been to the Beauty and the Beast,
it says I went online. It said I have like 8 hours left.
For which is this 2? Is this 2?
1.
Oh,
I'm so fucking close to the. It's so fucking bad, dude. I fucking hate this game.
I mean, I have played a lot of Kingdom Hearts because I played the entirety of the first one. I played like 8 or 9 hours of 2, and then I played some of the Game Advanced Chain of Memories one, and then I played some of Chain of Memories. But if you ask Kingdom Hearts fans, I've never touched the game. Kingdom Hearts fans are
you're a fake
insane.
fan, Blessing.
And if you're listening to I've never even called myself a fan. I just really like the first one. If you're listening to this and you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, seek help.
Jesus.
I have never met a Kingdom Hearts fan that doesn't need help.
Alex O'Neill, get the fuck out of here. Get some help.
Jesus.
That's what we're saying, okay?
And that's where we're wrapping up this podcast. Of course, this has been the Kind of Funny Next Gen podcast with Roger Barrett and I, your host, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Of course, we record this monthly right here on patreon.com/Kind of Funny and Kind of Funny Games. I forget which. Maybe both. Maybe
it's both,
one
since
or the
it's
other.
at the gold tier. Yeah.
Dope. Yeah, so subscribe to the gold tier if you want to get access to the show. If you're at the silver tier, 1, why the fuck are you listening to this? Actually give us money. 2, or give us more money if you want to listen to the show. But 2, you can also write in with your questions for some reason if you're the silver tier. So do that as well.
So weird. That's so funny.
Yeah,
that's still bit. Like that.
Yeah.
We pointed out this flaw and we still haven't fixed it 6 months later.
Because like, how do we fix it? The silver tier guarantees you questions for any show. Doesn't let you listen to every single show apparently, but
okay.
Because I guess like technically we're the only show that like exists above the silver tier.
Because it's the most valuable show.
It
is.
Yeah.
Anyway. MVP, most valuable podcast. You know what I mean?
Oh wow, that works.
It does. It does.
Holy shit. Came up with that super fast. Till next time, this has been the Kind of Funny Next Gen podcast. Peace out. Seek some help if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan.